Our next question comes from Allison. Allison asks, what is the usual number of times to reach out to a client before they respond? And what entices them to the most to follow you? Okay, so there is no usual. And when you're marketing online, you're marketing towards a sales result. So you're trying to market towards a sale. Online, basically, the really great websites, e-commerce sites, are getting maybe 3 to 5% conversion of visitors. I mean, that's a great ratio. So if you have 1,000 visitors coming to your site, you're getting 30 to 50 of them are maybe making a purchase if you've got a really kick-butt marketing copy on your website. So what do you do with the other 950 to 970 people? They probably weren't in a buying mode when they happened to come across your website. Maybe they were in research mode. Maybe they were doing a price comparison. Maybe they were just, they'd just come out and begun to do some initial research. So when you're doing that online, you need a lead capture system of some kind that has a follow-up system, whether that's emails, whether that's phone calls, direct mail, a fax, a text message, anything like that will continue to educate them, keep them engaged in what it is that you're doing, and move them closer and closer to making a buying decision ultimately. And when you do that, you can then take, even if you're only getting 3 to 5% of those other people, you're potentially doubling your conversion rate. Now, when it comes to why people follow others and what entices them to really follow you, generally speaking, people follow people that they really know, like, and trust. And I believe that you actually really just need to be very personal, very authentic with your marketing, very honest in the new sort of global community. Things are reverting back, in my opinion, to the days when sort of almost everyone was an entrepreneur, when people were really only doing business basically with people in their own community. And that was only going back 60, maybe 70 years ago. They knew they would walk to the town store, right? And they knew everything about those people, and they knew that the opposite was also true. The store owners knew everything about them. In my opinion, the days are gone when you could just get by with really bland kind of corporate speak in marketing. It's really time to bring in authenticity. It's really time to bring in real people to the mix, because we're now in this global community, and I really think that it's going back to, with the way things have gone in the last 18 months or so, people are losing trust, and rightly so, of the powers that be, of big business, big corporate America, and big banks. And so they want to go back, and that's not to say that your company can't be big, but you have to operate it in the sense of being really honest and authentic with people. GM, General Motors, is trying to do this right now by featuring in their commercials their new CEO, and he's talking about how he had some concerns when he first agreed to take this job, and I know you do too, but I was really surprised by what I found when I got here and looked at the cars, and I know you will be too, and so he's trying to use that authenticity, that real person kind of approach, and put a personality behind it. Another example of that here in Canada is where I am, President's Choice products. They're marketed in their commercials by the CEO, who goes around to different Canadian cities and kind of gets into the micro communities, and they make food. So they might make a sauce that's got a special kind of ethnic flair to it. So they'll go to, say it's a Chinese, they'll go to Chinatown in Vancouver, or they'll go to Greektown in Toronto. These really specific kind of places, and he'll go there himself, and they'll have the camera, and he'll be walking around in those communities, and he's talking to the camera as if he were talking directly to you, to one person. And that's what all of your marketing should always do, is talk directly to one person. Another example here in Canada, Maple Leaf Foods. They had a terrible PR nightmare last year when a bug, they manufacture prepared foods and specifically prepared meats. A bug called Listeria infected their meat and actually killed several people in the country who got sick, who ate it and got sick and died. And immediately after that happened, the CEO did a campaign of commercials where he took responsibility for this. He apologized, he took responsibility, and he updated the public as to what they were doing, what was going on, how they were correcting the problem, and everything that they were going to try and do to win back the trust that they know that they had lost, or that they knew that they had lost. And it was a really powerful way to communicate from a big company that had never done that before. But because this was such a major outbreak of and so many, I mean, it wasn't tons in the sense of hundreds or thousands, but tens of people died across the country, and that's not good for any company. But he took it upon himself to come out and speak directly to consumers through the medium of television, to take ownership, to take responsibility, and to make sure that people were aware. So I think that's what you want to do is be authentic, be unique. Let your quirks come through. Be vulnerable. If you make a mistake, admit to it, cop to it. The old way of marketing was, if you made a mistake, do everything you could to sweep it on the rug and not let anybody know. Well, that doesn't work anymore. People want to deal with real people. They want to know that there's a real person on the other end of a transaction. Whether they're buying a car, whether they're buying a loaf of bread, or just a toy. They just want to know that somebody cares on the other side. So that's what I would say, Allison, is just be yourself. Really try and find your authentic flair and bring it out. Let it out. Let people see it, and the people will be drawn to that. And the people who won't be drawn to that, well, you know what? That's okay. You can't sell to everybody anyway. So I hope that makes sense. And thank you so much for that question, Allison.